Tigers gave Bears quite the contest in a suitably ferocious encounter at Ashton Gate, and Tom Hudson has stuck to that formula today. His one change comes in the back row, where Tiana Gordon gets the start. For company, she has Talia Brodie, who nabbed a brace in Bristol, and effervescent skipper Roisin McBrien. If there's been one face pinned up in the Loughborough analysis room this week, though, it is that of Meg Jones. In the words of Hudson, teams know she's coming, and that is fine. Let's see them try and stop her. Nathan Smith's side have had 6 days, meanwhile, to lick their wounds after a 13-chief rolling mauls saw Exeter triumph with the clock in the red last time out. Back for more is an all-international pack, boasting the likes of arch line-out pilferer Hallie Tauffo'o, Scotland captain Rachel Malcolm, and the human cyclone Sadia Kabea. Behind them, a backline which guarantees theatre. Rowland, Kelter, Scarrett, genuinely world-class. Frank Goldthorpe is going from strength to strength. And Chrissy Skirfield seemingly just does whatever she wants these days. Here they are, and led out by Helena Rowland, who becomes the 22nd Lightning player to hit a half-century of appearances. Such a formidable athlete, Nathan Smith said in the week, that she'd be this dazzling whichever sport she had picked. In another universe, Rowland is a lioness or a track and field sensation. In this one, she's one of the very best in the business. Loughborough in appropriately a purple patch. They're sat 6th this lot, but that sells their calibre dangerously short. That historic win over Saracens, Gloucester Hartbury pushed hard, and then Exeter trailing with 85 minutes gone. You don't want to play them this side of Christmas. Oh no, this is a group transformed, and they will take some scalping over the next couple of hours. 50 up for Rowland and 50 up for her opposite number, Natasha Jones. Born in Leicester and someone who just hurtled back to these parts when this side's ambitions to compete in the world's best domestic league were announced. Number 10 on her back today, but she is Tiger 001. It's been a fortnight of extremes for this group. Shellacked 100-0 at the Stonex, and then triumphant in their last half of rugby at the home of Bristol Bears. They're after their 3rd win of the campaign, their 2nd ever at this ground, and against one of this competition's most compelling movers and shakers. Immaculate conditions, crisp and still, and beneath azure Leicestershire skies. The carpet immaculate at Mattioli Woods Welford Road, and backlines boasting women like that one, who will be excited to strut their stuff upon it.
Got 20 seconds.
Hollywood has been tasked with keeping things civil in the cauldron of this derby. Richard Gordon and Daryl Chapman, her assistants, and Craig Maxwell Keys, the TMO. Tigers in those famed stripes, Loughborough in Africa violet. And earlier in the week, Meg Jones said it best, so we'll let her have the last word here. Will Tigers roar, or will Lightning strike? 80 minutes to settle the matter. An early chug there from Rachel Malcolm, spent so long out with an ankle injury, but back to her best now. And scampering infield, Fran Goldthorpe. Thrust backwards for Meg Davey. Celebrating Rowland's 50th today. This is Davies' 107th.
Okay, hold there.
No athlete has pulled on a Lightning jersey more times than the scrum half.
Been carried back, straight out.
That's straight out on the full from Rowland, but that does give me an opportunity to welcome the World Cup winner sat alongside me for this one, Rachel Burford. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Really looking forward to this one. We saw last weekend the variation of kicking from Loughborough Lightning. Unlikely from Rowland there, just to make the error. I can see what they're trying to do. Contestable kicks as they start to get bogged down in that 22. But it's going to be a fascinating game. Potentially, in particular, that 13 channel, all eyes on Meg Jones and Emily Scarrett going head-to-head.
Maul,
Simpson finds Donaldson. They were practicing that over and over in the warm-up. It's been a stuttering line out of late. No Amy Cockayne, she's out with a calf injury for the foreseeable. And in comes Bartlett, formerly of Loughborough. Rootles around, gets that one out, and it's tipped on to Gordon. Kelter wrestles her back just past the 22. Tigers headed towards what they call the kill zone, and there they are through their captain Rasheen McBride, who punches so far above her weight each and every time she gets hands on it. Efficiency has been the name of the game for Tom Hudson's side in 2025. They've improved their return in this part of the field by 80% over Christmas, so they're looking to enter again now and return with something meaty. Phrase carry. Tigers resident Tyro. But how does it safely? The phase is mounting. They are being made to work ferociously hard for this.
Take a step. Sorry.
A big effort there from Leicester Tigers going through the phases, but Lightning being able to just hold their defensive line, stay really connected, allow the play to shift from left to right, and then when the opportunity comes, straight in over the ball. And a brilliant clear there from Helena Rowland. Brilliant shot tackle there from Holcamp. Being really aggressive.
They've got two proper Canadian enforcers available to them in the engine room, Loughborough. But this, all about the backs, that glittering backline, and just look at Goldthorpe swerve her way around, find Davey with the cutest support line. Essential tackle there from McGee. Crisis averted for now, but up, rising with it, slamming it down. The woman of the moment, Chrissy Scurfield, the first to lay claim to this East Midlands crown.
Eleanor, can you just come and put this back in my belt, please?
Well, how good from Loughborough Lightning. All originated from the line out, clean ball off the top. Work out the back and then go for lovely show and go, just does enough. Here we see it again, good clean ball off the top. Yeah, plenty of options, plenty of runners, big decoy. Lev Kelter out the back, and then Scurfield getting on that outside arc. And then here just opens up slightly for Goldthorpe. Ball in two hands, little pump, and then connects up again. And then what about the power? We've talked about Scurfield and how she's settled into the 15s game now. And this finish here from power and determination to get over.
Up go the flags. It's a full 7-point haul thanks to the boot of Helena Rowland. Well, there she is, Chrissy Scurfield, newly arrived from winning an Olympic silver with Canada out in Paris. She is an athletic freak, to quote her head coach.
Yeah, absolutely. And, look at that. She's the one who delivered the pass to Goldthorpe, back on her feet, recycling, being an extra body here. And then that's the difference. That's the extra player that you needed to be able to pick and drive over. Two players there she's taking on. Superb start from her. Did the entire warm-up in a full tracksuit, Chrissy Scurfield. I'll tell you what, you can take the girl off the 7 circuit, but I bet she wishes she was out in Perth where it's 34 degrees right now.
Scrum advantage.
Ball gifted straight back to Tigers, spilt through contact there, and here is Leah Bartlett.
Still under scrum advantage.
Such a strong Scottish contingent in Tom Hudson's side. It's the loose heads who carried hard there as that scrum advantage just expires. Claire Gallagher sees what avenues might open up before her. Picked up, driven back. Sophie Benevent. Another knock on though through heavy traffic there. Loughborough being forced to put in an awful lot of early tackles.
Yeah, and Holtkamp right at the centre of that again, just being aggressive, getting off the line. But good spot here by Gallagher. Notice it was a short side. Probably needed to go on the outside to McGee there. Just give her a bit of one-on-one, a little bit of space.
No side in the PWR has scored more off the scrum than the team with the ball right now. Keep an eye on Leicester Tigers. You know that Nathan Smith will be doing exactly that. Tom Hudson, former fly half and centre, an absolute attacking rugby pig. He'll have something up his sleeve. In and out, clean as a whistle. The newest half centurion, Jones, finding Jones. But it's Emily Scarrett forming a maul in the midfield and affecting the turnover. What can't she do? Ball stripped, awkward bounce. I don't think that Benevent was expecting that one, but she did brilliantly to hoover it up. And that strike move amounts to precisely nothing for Leicester, who have to work again into the half of their opponents. Little tip from Frey.
Penalty advantage.
This time, a heftier advantage to Flex will come back for the penalty.
5, offside.
We talked about that eagerness to get off the line, but you've got to do it legally. That's well managed by Leicester Tigers there here, just having another look at that Meg Jones and Emily Scarrett combination. Great strength. One of the things that Emily Scarrett does have is that size and height on Meg Jones, just gets the opportunity to wrap her up. I'm sure we'll see lots of those mini battles going on today.
I can't have you as a World Cup winning centre alongside me today, Rachel, and not talk about John Mitchell's options. There's so many of them littering the park today. But in Emily Scarrett, in Meg Jones, in Fran Goldthorpe, in Helena Rowland, you've got 4 top draw operators, which isn't even to name the individuals up on screen now.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great position to be in, isn't it? To have such a rich of players to be able to choose from. Really challenging to be able to see who's going to get those spots during the Six Nations. Previously, Tatiana Hurd and Meg Jones, great combinations, but will we see different ones this year? It will be interesting to see.
John Mitchell has named 5 different centre combinations over the course of his 10 tests in charge. No doubt he's got eyes on this one as Scarrett trades in some of the more glamorous stuff to finding herself on clear-out duties, and Holt Campbell, 5'11" of her, busting tackles. Little half break that allows Goldthorpe front foot ball. Look at the chase from Skirfield, and Goldthorpe combining there to wrap up McGee and haul down the Thistle. Plenty of midfield cut and thrust in this one. I don't think that was quite the kick that Jones was hoping for.
Okay, option, scrum or line out to purple. It's knock on by 14 is touch.
There's a nice little touch here, isn't it, from Goldthorpe, little dink through. Okay. They've had some real success, haven't they, Loughborough Lightning, in turning the opposition. That's little kick passes or in behind. It's lovely to see. We don't often see Goldthorpe. She's more of a runner, isn't she, instead of the kicking game. But it's great to see that happening.
Talfuo's the one to claim the line out, and here again, Holtkamp. Davey swiftly on and away. The skip pass from Scarrett, floating past the face of Goldthorpe, and it's a bounce for Matai Tonga to gather. She's gathered in turn by Fran McGee, who hopes to be back here in April, playing for Scotland against the Red Roses. Rachel Malcolm with the half break, then the full one, and the footwork defend, all the tricks coming out the box. Scotland skipper in fine fettle. And now her flanking buddy, Kabea. No athletes had more involvements in 2025 than the open side. 10 metres, the difference, as Loughborough pass from shade to sunlight, hunting a second. Belisle bundled back. Now this is Scarrett, the stutter step, on to Hibbert Jones, but Meg Jones manages the tackle. Rowland. Look at the line speed there, the sheer appetite from Talia Brodie, but picking and going is Belial, finding Skirfield, wonderful footwork there. Treader onto Cabea, who will take some stopping, 6 metres the difference now.
What was that?
Leicester have picked Loughborough pockets there.
No advantage, penalty, playing the 9.
But illegally so.
Playing the 9.
How will Lightning play this one?
Sorry guys, I was blindsided. Cool.
What do you want? Looks like they're just having a discussion whether they want to go scrum or go to the line out.
Let's go.
Good option going for the corner. But brilliant work from Loughborough Lightning. Rachel Malcolm, that roaring run through the middle there. Just look at the ability, just tipping the ball, moving the point of contact, just challenging that defensive line. Playing a lot of their runners off 10, so it just makes that pass a little bit wider, pulls out, sucks in some more defenders, and all of a sudden you just got a rampage coming on.
Holtkamp brings it down, and look at them start to motor. They've got a penalty advantage, so we'll come back at worst. Rowland, handbrake off now, intercept.
No advantage.
And the roar from the Tigers coaching staff to our right.
Oh, that would have been a great foot race to witness, wouldn't it?
Can we just watch
a brilliant pick by Meg Jones.
Yeah, no worries. Number 6, changing bind.
It's just a couple of penalties now. Just Tigers need to make sure they stay clean in this area.
Just here.
They are a squeaky clean team, Leicester Tigers, but it's given Helena Rowland the opportunity to bury that 5 metres out. And you might have just heard over Hollywood, our referee's microphone, Rachel Malcolm saying shoot to kill. So here we go. Here comes the heavy artillery. Treader to Taufuo, a pair of US Eagles combining, but there's nothing soaring about this. This is about grunt and muscle, and purple packing down against green and eking out yet another penalty. There's the bus from Holtkamp. Hibbert Jones is lurking from it as the referee says short once more. Sleeves rolled up here in Leicestershire. There's a second score. Inches away. Cabea wants it, but it's Malcolm who scores it, and well she should, because it was her barnstorming break which got them down into this position, and that's her first try of the campaign.
Yeah, rightly so, as you said. All the momentum from that came from that woman up through the middle, recycling herself.
Yeah. Timing was good.
It's just the way that they're coming in at it.
And like all good captains, having a word to the referee, but just good patience here.
Okay, I'll have a look at that.
Obviously, they had the advantage, but keeping it nice and tight. Nathan Smith talked about wanting to be really direct this week. Be easy just to move the ball out, but just being patient, going through the phases, recycling yourself. And Rachel Malcolm, she's so good at getting so low and underneath the opposition. It's been a good start from Loughborough Lightning.
I asked Nathan Smith in the week about her impact upon her return from 10 weeks out with an ankle injury, and he spoke about her having unprecedented attacking impetus. She's worked so hard, by all accounts, in the background on her running game, which perhaps was the only thing missing, really, from her arsenal. We know her for her work rate.
Yeah, I mean, she is always up there on stats, isn't she? Whether that's tackles, rucks, involvements. And I think, you know, she's always been that player that's in real close quarters, getting a couple of feet over the line. But to see her kind of excel there and open up another part of her game that we haven't seen as much as, you know, these are the things that you get the opportunity to work on when you are injured, areas of the game that you can't normally spend as much time on.
Cabea, another one to have returned from an ankle layoff a little bit earlier on this season. Marked her return with just the 26 tackles against Gloucester Hartbury.
Keep working.
Well, she and Malcolm are having the lion's share of the ball right about now. Another carry from the blind side, and here goes the open side again. Through the washer, out the other side, but ball stays African Violet. Holtkamp's quick hands onto Kelton, knocked on. What a position this will be for Tigers.
Yeah, it's a good strike position, isn't it? Especially off the scrum, which is one of their biggest weapons. Big source for them on their try scores. They're just Loughborough, just getting a little bit too flat, pushing and forcing that pass. Not sure Lev Kelter there was expecting the ball.
Yeah, sure.
You can see they want to play quickly, don't they? They want to move the ball. They don't want to just be very obvious in where they want to attack. No one-out runners, looking at those tip balls. But on that occasion, didn't quite work.
I felt it stabilised quite nicely.
Sorry, I feel like she's setting up at the angle already. Like, saw me going automatically.
So I've got her square, both shoulders, and I've got you setting up on an angle.
Okay,
so I need to see that inside shoulder completely popped out. If you want to show me legal going up.
If I show you that, we'll have you look at the
I will.
The Gallagher Premiership is back, and we've got double helpings for you both today and tomorrow. Cherries host Tigers right after us before Sarries head down to Sandy Park, which is always tasty. Sunday sorted too, can Bath toppled Salford Community Stadium. Bristol host Newcastle on Discovery Plus, and then as ever, Craig will tie it all up with a slightly chaotic bow right as your roast comes out the oven. 5:15, the Rugby Review.
Okay, time back on.
And Fulham United is also on the go, should you fancy, with just 7 points separating these two ailing sides in the Standard. And then pick of the bunch, although admittedly Rachel and I are a little bit biased, is next Sunday when Chiefs host Quins in the sort of game you really should have people over for. That could be absolutely blockbuster.
Stay there.
Two of the most consistent scrums in the league, going toe-to-toe. Down the short side they come. Ralph finding a pair of Joneses. Meg, then Tash, then Meg again. Into the 22 they erupt. Brodie with a little pass back inside to Tiana Gordon, making the most of just her second start of this campaign. Evie Wills up and on to Benevent. Scarrett's tackle, but ordered to release on this occasion. Ralph with a bullet-like pass onto Jones, who sends another rifle up and over the top. And look at Emily Henrich dance, finds Frey on a cute support line, but there was nothing cute about that from the young look forward. Brodie fancies 3 tries in just 2 outings. Ralph tips it up and on to Bartlett. Clinging onto her by just the shin is teammate from Scotland, Christine Belisle. Simpson fancies herself on the pick and go. But just look at the purple jerseys before them, bunched so tight. There's acres of space if they want to get it out and try and employ Fran McGee, which they fancy. Oh, the kick is a peach to McGee. Can she get the offload away? Yes, but it can't be gathered.
Okay, that's been knocked on. Back to the not rolling.
Kick perfection, take glorious. Opportunity begging.
Yeah, it was a lovely spot, wasn't it? Knowing that you got the advantage that you come back for. But really
Number
good
10,
cover defence there.
Not rolling. Number 10.
A great ball from Meg Jones to open up the outside channel there with Henrich. She's been on form, hasn't she, for Tigers. A little bit of space, and look at the damage they can do. And Frey on the shoulder. She's been so good this year. Really stood out in the PWR. See, Skerfield just gets a bit narrow.
Play on.
Goldthorpe just slips off her, but look at that support line on the shoulder. Gets him in a great position.
We were 5 metres out when the ball was thrown to Eva Donaldson, but made that 5.5 now. The counter shove, monstrous. Tiana Gordon picked up, slammed down. Ralph finds Donaldson, who arrives with a real head of steam. And now look at the bodies in motion. Charlotte Frey carrying like a freight train and over. It is a Derby Day belter for the pride of Leicester Tigers. Tom Hodson saying in the week that she will soon be impossible to ignore by the Red Roses coaching staff, whilst she's just gone and banged on the front door of Pennyhill Park.
Yeah, she's been so good. We just spoke about her, didn't we, being on the shoulder. She's such a dynamic player, reads the game so well, knows where to be on the next phase. And here for Loughborough Lightning, they need to do better here. You've got Lev Kelter and Emily Scarrett, both quality defenders. They'll feel that that's quite a soft try, but it's the fight and the determination from Frey not to give up. Keep leg drive in, twist, turn, and then find the white line. Really good response from Tigers.
Claire Gallagher's conversion makes it a 5-point game, thanks to their number 5. Let's head down to the coaches' box, shall we? Tom Hudson is alongside Ashley Wilmot.
Thanks, Claire. Tom, you've been a ball of energy all morning in the build-up to this, but I did just sneak a little smile from you there. What have you made of the opening 20 minutes?
Good. I think we've lost the physicality battle, which is something we weren't expecting. The one time we get it right 3 times, Charlotte Frey goes under and scores. We've really got to look after this part of our game now. We know we are not very good at looking after phases of play when we just score. So, yeah, let's see if we can hold on to those 7 points.
You said about the physicality battle. Has that been something you've been thinking about in the build-up to this week?
It's something we think about every game. I think, as I mentioned, pre-game, we are... Well done. That has worked lovely. See you later. Oh, she's dropped it. Sorry, I keep forgetting I'm live. Yes, we look after the physicality battle. We also have got to make sure, not only on physicality, we're also making the tackles that we seem to miss quite often.
Look, you've got 3 games left with the playoffs being out of reach. What are you hoping to see? We spoke earlier before the game and you were talking about the attacking side of your game. Yeah, we're a bit like a patchwork cloak. You know, we've got so many good things to our game. We've just got to tie things together. As I alluded to, you know, you go and put a good try together there. And then we've got to go and exit well. We get a good penalty, we kick to the corner. We'd love to see more maul tries. The next 3 games, I just want to start putting things together and looking more like a rugby team as opposed to having nice moments at certain times. And talk us through what you want to see in this phase of play as well. I've been concentrating on my interview so much, I don't know who's got the ball. Who is it? You tell me. What do you want to see? I think you've got the ball here. I'm too busy watching you. OK, fair. Let me tell you now, we've gone... It's a lightning scrum. It's a lightning scrum. Oh, OK. Then let's just make sure that we look after first phase. They've got some pretty fast wingers, and then we'll get into multi-phase D. Good to speak to you. Let's keep our eyes on the game, shall we? That's the job. Thank you.
Oh, Ashley, will you see if he's around to commentate for us in the future? That was fantastic. Tom Hudson there, who's effervescent and candid as ever on the microphone. Always such good value. And he's teed this up beautifully. They have indeed got some pretty quick wingers.
Nice, so
set. But it's over to the more powerful operators here of Anne Young, Catherine Tredder and Christine Belisle. Into the shade they come. And at first receiver, Fran Goldthorpe, who pirouettes and places this backwards. Holtkamp wants it. As ever, buys a little bit of front football and just look at the numbers.
Tackle, release!
Oh, king around that shoulder for Nathan Smith's side. Davey on to Kelter. Wills' tackle this time. Rowland popping up out of nowhere with a little jinking hitch and then the grubber through.
Okay,
big
let them play.
Counter ruck there. It's an area though where they're pretty watertight. Leicester Tigers great at the breakdown, and they've managed to get that back and away to Tash Jones, formerly of Loughborough, and they found touch.
Okay, on the edge of that white.
That's exactly what Tom Hudson wants, isn't it? Just have composure there. They've got the ball back. Go through the phases, build get a good angle there for Tash Jones to be able to clear.
Take a step front.
They can just breathe again, but still under pressure here. We know what happened off the last lightning strike from this position.
You can say lightning strike once today, Rachel. That was it. You've used up your allowance, all right? 10 metres, hoovered up by Catherine Tredder and co. The US Eagle, former state wrestling champion, and she found herself up close and personal here. 5 metres, still going. Tredder almost loses her footwork, but finds an extra little burst to pop over. That's a 3rd try for Loughborough Lightning, courtesy of their hooker extraordinaire, Tredder. And there's daylight between them now and their Midlands rivals.
Everything will be swept. She's crawling. Yeah, but was she tackled?
Yeah, but it's not...
Yeah, good quality driving maul again. 2nd try so far from Loughborough Lightning using this method. But just really good control. You can see as soon as they come down, they've already got Leicester Tigers on the back foot. And then you see the splinter in there. You've got Leicester Tigers on the feet, on the floor, splintering off to the left and right, which just makes it so hard to be able to do anything to affect Tredder getting over.
She started playing rugby, Catherine Tredder, after a chance conversation with a stranger on a bus. She's now headed to her second World Cup, all things being equal. Touchline, but no problem whatsoever for Helena Rowland. 19 plays 7. And Rachel, if Nathan Smith today is all about the performance, about those incremental gains for a team that are just going from strength to strength, what will he have made of the opening 25?
I think he'll be really pleased. You know, the moments and the opportunities that Lightning have got, they've been able to capitalise on them, come away with points, apply pressure. So I think he'll be pretty pleased with where the team are at the moment. We've seen them try and move the ball, play through the middle, which is exactly what you want from a team. You want variation, you want to be questioning the opposition.
Malcolm pumping arms and legs and every other available limb to get over the gain line there. And back to Rowland, who sends that end over ends towards Claire Gallagher, just through the fingertips of the Canadian. Growing and growing into that fullback jersey.
Make an effort.
Bit of crossed comms in the backfield there. Goldthorpe and Rowland, but eventually it's the fly half who gathers. Delicate jinking ball over the top and on to Henrich. 4 tries and counting for the newly arrived Tigers winger. That, though, inauspicious from Benevent. We're right back where we started.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of those, haven't we? Just the pass dying at the player. So you've either got to move in, be tighter to that 9 so that you're not overstretching and you're not putting that risk in play. But real shame, won that kick battle, managed to get over the halfway line, and then just giving the ball up now to Loughborough Lightning.
Make sure your shoelaces done, time's off.
Well, we're in the second half of one of our other Saturday kickoffs down at Vallis Way. Trailfinders leading Bristol Bears by 27 points to 21. We just saw Nathan Smith up on screen there, Rachel, and this actually brings me nicely on something he said in the week. They have to finish strong, Loughborough, because next season he reckons there will be 7 teams all considering themselves genuine contenders for this title. We know the 5 for this year. Loughborough fancy themselves the 6th. Trailfinders, surely they're in with a shot.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you know, every season, no matter where you may be finishing, you want to be able to finish on your best form. And we've seen in the last few rounds, this Loughborough Lightning team really turn it around. You know, on paper, we can see how well-classed they are. They haven't always had all of their players available. We've had people coming in at different stages of the year. But this year is as much about setting the stone out for next season as well.
What's the issue? Okay, I'm not here to manage your space. You guys do that, okay?
And we will keep you up to speed on what is going on down in West London at Trailfinders, because, as we're well aware, Bristol Bears cannot afford to lose out at any points as they hunt for a spot in the semi-finals. That is must win for Dave Ward's side.
Crouch!
Nice, so.
Bind!
Beautiful.
Set! Okay, both down on that side.
Not an early shove.
No. There's good stability.
Right, we'll have this one again. Bartlett, Simpson and Benevent.
Height you can maintain. If that means closing your gap, do it.
Young, Tredder and Belisle. Meg Davey will feed this one. Talking about the squad that they've assembled just 12 miles up the road in Loughborough. It really is a ridiculous backline. You can see it to full effect, just scattered across the pitch here at Mattioli Woods Welford Road. Canadian, English, American internationals, and it's one of the Eagles who has it now, finding former World Player of the Year, Emily Scarrett. 9 consecutive starts, that midfield pairing, and they are just starting to purr. Daisy Hibbert-Jones. This now, Belisle. Penalty advantage drawn. There was a high shot and stopping the Scottish side head, and scything through is Helena Rowland. She's got 1 to beat, and Welford Road is her stage. A beautiful moment of virtuosic rugby from Eleanor Rowland. She manages about one a game, but I'll tell you what, it never gets old.
Yeah, it's so good, isn't it, to see her back playing and at her best again. But it all started from the scrum. And just look at the injection of pace here from Emily Scarrett. Just gets on the outside, which then pulls in the defenders. And the difference between Loughborough and Tom Hudson spoke about that physicality battle. Every player is coming onto that ball with pace, playing at the line. All of a sudden there, Helen Rowan has just been distributing all game, and suddenly a small half gap opens up for her. And she does not need a big invitation into a small hole. And look at that footwork. Really, really nice balance there.
It's the first time this season Loughborough Lightning have managed a try-scoring bonus point before half-time. But on the other side of the coin, it's the 9th Leicester Tigers have conceded one. And the woman at the heart of it, right there. What a boost, Rachel, it will be if the Red Roses can have her available for the World Cup.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, she's such a versatile player. We're seeing her play 10 today, but we know she can play 12, 13, play at the fullback. She's such a quality player. I mean, the way she's kicking this afternoon as well off the tee, it's another big asset to have for the Red Roses.
She's an Olympian. She's won the Premiership with Saracens. And she finds herself now one of the beating hearts of a Loughborough Lightning side who will take some beating next season.
Okay, that last one was good, guys. Let's
How
keep
much did you two overlap in various training environments, Rachel? Because Nathan Smith also spoke in the week about the fact that she's very softly spoken. She's not an extrovert, Helen Rowland, but that doesn't mean for a second she's not one of the sharpest playmaking minds out there right now.
She's a quality player, and he's right. She is softly spoken, but when she speaks, you listen. It's one of those. She's such a good tactician. She thinks about the way that the game is going, how she can influence it, and she was preferably a 12 back when I was playing as well, so I was very aware of her.
It's the new kid on the block in the 12 jersey, Kelter, who just stalked in softly as they set up that scrum and then exploded upon receiving the ball. Davey up and on to Malcolm. Frey with another dominant tackle. No one's made more of those in the PWR this season. And here's the battle that we all bought our tickets for. Scarrett up against Meg Jones. The Tiger foiling the Lightning athlete for the moment, but they go again through Cabea. Davey finds Malcolm. It's Benevent making up for that knock on a few moments ago with the shot.
Don't block. Wait. All good.
We've seen this one before. We've seen that slightly messy play before from Claire Gallagher, but she sets off after her own, and Rowland looks up with the Canadian fullback to beat. Does show. How did she stay in field there? Extraordinary.
Off purple, play on.
But it is scrappy ball off the back of that, and this way and that. Worse Fran Goldthorpe. Half an hour played. Loughborough Lightning have the bonus points. Unless the Tigers know that they must score next if they're to maintain any sort of foothold in this East Midlands derby.
Take him back.
Rowland, at this stage, just enjoying herself, buys herself all the room she needed to send that high and upfield.
Tackle, release.
Benevent and Bartlett just trundling up and over halfway. Frey. Jones with the carry, and then the knee drive to get up and over the top of Belisle. This better from Tigers. Bit of 9 on 9 there. Davey wraps up Ralph, and all too happy to oblige is Hibbert Jones, the young co-captain, making a 26th successive PWR start, but that's been lost forward.
Yeah, long passage of play for both teams. A few tired bodies out there. But good little injection of pace again from Natasha Jones, just gets in behind. I mean, she's just showing off now. She could have caught that one, but she decided to do a little touch, and then look at that twinkle toes down the sideline as well. Yeah, we've seen her do that last weekend as well. Shooters coming out the line. Feels like she's got so much time.
And I suppose what's so valuable about this environment, Alev Kelter spoke about it pre-match, but they're all learning off each other. Emily Scarrett in that quasi-coaching role we've heard described, but the likes of Scarrett, of Kelter, of Mattioli Tonga, all making one another better as players. It must be so powerful.
Yeah, of course. I think, you know, all of them will have strengths that they bring and different perspectives on it, situations, and, you know, they're a really close group, the Lightning group, and I think, you know, having that mutual respect for one another, you know, when they're playing against one another, but then also when they're in their club shirts as well, they just bring all that experience together and lean on one another when they need to.
And they needed it. They needed to be tight. Lost 4 of their opening 6 this season. Some heavy defeats. They took 64 points at Trailfinders in round 2. It's not been plain sailing, but by all accounts,
you stay where you are. Okay, hold your body weight and stay up, right?
The belief has always been there. It's just the results that weren't quite sticking.
Let's go. Seconds in. Seconds.
Crouch.
Come on.
Bite. Set.
One more win is all Tom Hudson has asked of this group for the end of their season. They've got some work to do if it's to be this afternoon in this 4th iteration of an East Midlands derby in the Women's Premiership. McGee just about smuggles that backwards to keep the ball with the home side, and now they've got options out on the wing. Carrying hard there was McBrien. Carrying even harder, Talia Brodie. Less Tiger, more Rhino on that occasion. Benevent.
Okay, let her play it.
Jones with the little dummy and the shimmy, and still going. Beats 2 before someone gets a hands on her.
No, your tackle's still there.
Switching the point of attack, it's Ralph on
not
to
affecting.
Frey, 2 of those original Leicester Tigers from Vicky McQueen's inaugural programme last season. Jones finds Gordon, it's fingertip stuff as she just loses it forwards. Turnover ball for Loughborough Lightning, and no side in the competition is more susceptible to these sorts of situations than Leicester Tigers. And as I say that, Emily Scarrett whips one into touch and has the good humour to laugh to herself.
Yeah, you kind of have to at those kind of mistakes. I wish Emma had just tucked here, get the big fend out, get on the outside. But here, you know what she's trying to do. She's trying to find her winger. Mattioli Tonga just doesn't quite get it right. Not on the same page there.
Guys,
trying to put it flat, but you need the winger there.
Okay, stop there.
Is she back playing some of her best stuff, Rachel? It's been such a torrid time of late with injuries for Emily Scarrett, but I wonder if she might just be peaking to perfection.
Yeah, I think we've really seen a turn in her performances, certainly at the back end of last year. Just the way that she's playing the game, orchestrating. You see a lot of her being the first receiver, pulling people into place, and that's what Emily's game is about at the moment. It's about pulling the strings, pulling people into holes, really being present defensively. But I think we've seen a real turn from her in recent times, which is pretty good timing considering we've got Six Nations just around the corner.
Six Nations that will be back here April 19th. England against Scotland, Rose against Thistle.
Nothing coming there, that was fair. One here not rolling and one over there. What would you like? You've got one there for not rolling and one here for a side entry. Okay.
But before then, we've
Number
a
one,
Leicestershire derby, the only one of its kind actually. I was reliably informed this morning there is no other top flight Leicestershire derby in any other sport, male or female. So it's a special occasion. And this, a pretty special bit of field position for a Tigers outfit that haven't scored since Charlotte Frey was charging over 20 minutes ago. Clinical from Lightning so far, wasteful from the home side, and that will hardly help.
Number 5, cross.
But
Okay, penalty
Tali
count in this
Taufa'o
area.
gifting the penalty to Leicester Tigers.
Oh.
Rasheen McBrien pointing straight to the corner.
Well done.
Yeah, a bit of a let-off, wasn't it? An error came in there off the top of the ball, but illegally so they get another shot at it. They really need to make this count. We talked about the improvements we've seen this year from Leicester Tigers when they get into this entry zone in the 22. They want to be able to capitalise, especially at the moment when they're trailing as many points as they are.
And for every first phase try that his side score this season, Tom Hodson puts 50 quid in the social kitty. So here we go. Look at that. That's so much better. Safe at the line out. Instantly striking. And Leicester Tigers meet Lightning with some thunder of their own. It's Talia Brodie. 3 scores in 2 matches. And that, Tom Hodson, will be another 50 quid, please.
That's brilliant. Love that. 50 quid into the social pot.
Do you want me to let you know when you've got 10?
I wonder if that changes some of their decisions sometimes, whether to play off the top or keep driving. But really good response, really good clinical, being clinical in that area from Leicester Tigers. Simple, up at the front, down, really quick transfer, and just getting the drive moving as quickly as possible before Loughborough Lightning can make any response.
Two at Ashton Gate, 1 at Mattioli Woods Welford Road for the US Eagle, Talia Brodie. On to her North American counterpart, Claire Gallagher.
10 seconds.
To narrow the deficit further. Nowhere near. That one drifts wide, so the score will remain 12 points to 26 at the break. But what a momentum shift that was. Hope filling those Leicester Tigers jerseys as the two sides head into the sheds. Bonus point wrapped up for Loughborough, but this one very much alive and kicking. Don't go anywhere because we'll have all the analysis on the other side of this short break.
Yeah, well, I think you want to use those emotions to really drive you on, but it's all about balancing them. But you know, it's all about bragging rights and who's going to get them and who wants them the most. And, you know, we're seeing it go from left to right in this game today, and you can see those emotions coming out. But derby's always really special because you want those bragging rights.
New advantage.
Well, they're on the line here with 40 minutes left to play and just the 14 points separating these two.
Okay, nothing coming there.
Salev Kelter with a speculative kick over the top, a penalty advantage to Flax. And speaking of derbies, the 3 o'clock kick-off today in the PWR is Harlequins up against Saracens. That should be delectable. Before round 16, which, by the way, might be the round of the season so far. Bristol Loughborough, Trailfinders Saracens, Exeter Harlequins, our live game on TNT Sports. Some unmissable stuff coming up. We mentioned how that score with the clock nearing the red at the end of the first half for Talia Brodie might just have given Leicester Tigers a claw hold in this fixture. But if Catherine Tredder could have found her mark there, you wondered if Lightning might have immediately snuffed that hope out. As it is, it's overthrown and it bounces up for Evie Wills. Scottish centre who's learning so much playing alongside Meg Jones, who's on the shoulder now of Talia Brodie, which is normally quite a profitable spot to be lurking. She tends to put dents in defensive lines. Julia Amakwale is on.
Advantage.
The Canadian flanker. But a pair of knock-ons, and we will have our first scrum in the wintry sunshine here in Leicester.
Yeah, a bit of a shaky start for both teams coming out after half-time. Errors creeping in. Julia Amakwale coming on. She's been so good for Leicester Tigers. A real weapon, really dynamic, really dangerous in the loose. It's good to see her on the field.
Forced off just 4 minutes into affairs down at Ashton Gate last week against Bristol Bears. She is, to quote Tom Hodson, something else. So brilliant to see her coming through that knock, and no surprise to see her dropped into things here today. She is a difference maker. she is, eye to eye with Sadia Kabea. It's Hibbert Jones who ushers it on safely to Davy. She's got Ralph and Tasha Jones for company. Holtkamp, who made her debut for Canada as a teenager at what was then known as the Allianz Park, Saracens ground, back in 2018. It's another Canadian who has it now. Rolling and squirming is Chrissy Scurfield, who opened up Lightning's account early on.
Tackle, release!
Taufuo going nowhere quickly. All it has done is draw together a glut of Tigers jerseys. Penalty conceded. Charlotte Frey's knock on there deemed deliberate. And in her haste to get motoring,
Deliberate knock on.
Chrissy Scurfield might have just knocked that one on. And apologies for any fruity language which might have just drifted in over our referee's mic there.
It's good to see players laughing at their mistakes, isn't it? But big let-off there for Leicester Tigers. Just here, Charlotte Frey just trying to go for the big grab, but you've got to be in a position to really be able to take that ball. You can't just put a hand and a palm out and try and slap it. You've got to be able to try and get two hands, make it look like it's a real genuine attempt for an intercept.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's nice to see them laughing at their mistakes, but they can afford to, these two teams, can't they? Because neither of them mathematically remain within touching distance of the playoffs. There are 5 sides left in the hunt, and one of them, Bristol Bears, might be about to come unstuck down at Vallis Way. We'll keep you posted on how they're going against Trailfinders, trailing with a few minutes remaining, but only within a score. Quins, Saracens, reigning champions Gloucester Hartpury, and Exeter Chiefs, the other quartet who fancy themselves PWR champions at the Stone X on the 16th of March. Look at the drive from Loughborough Lightning. That was pretty totemic. Brody pulling a rabbit out of a hat there by keeping hold of the ball somehow. Bodies to the breakdown. Oh, and just knocked on by Natasha Jones, who was lurking back in the pocket but looked up. One too many Lightning players
that has to have gone knocked on
in her line of sight, and gives them the scrum.
Oh, Brody did so well, didn't she? Scrum going backwards and twisting, and managed to go forward. Lovely offload, again, just changing that point of contact. But here, this is where they need to be settled. Their 9's at the bottom of that ruck. Just recycle, go a phase, don't try and force anything there. Charlotte Frey hasn't even got eyes on where Natasha Jones is. That's where you need your leaders to step up and say, let's slow this down, let's get it organised, let's get out of here.
Big budgets, Tom Hudson has said, go for big dogs, but we go for the size of the fight. And Talia Brody just epitomised that. Lightning's pack isn't the biggest either, but that cleanly away and onto Kelter, who sold everybody with her eyes before scampering back against the grain. All the bodies coursing to the open side. Holtkamp is there, Kabea over the ball. Swiftly to it, Davy. Her service has been immaculate today. Now Goldthorpe looks up, spots Natasha Jones as her opponent in that particular one-on-one and leaves the fly half flailing. Scarrett now, no look, onto Scurfield. Oh, it's beautiful for Chrissy Scurfield, and it just opens up.
Oh, sorry.
Carving up at Mattioli Woods Welford Road. That's 2 for Chrissy Scurfield. They've both been a delight.
Well, it's quality, isn't it? It all comes again from that physicality battle, forwards winning that front foot ball, and all of a sudden they're on the back foot. But here, the subtlety of Emily Scarrett, look how square she is, draws in 2 defenders, and that soft offload to the outside as a runner flying onto the ball. Nice off, put it in the air, and Chrissy Scurfield, look at the pace and the balance to get through again.
Named in the HSBC 7 Series Dream Team back in 2022, exploded onto the scene, and she has taken to 15-a-side rugby like a ferociously athletic duck to water. Look at her now, pulling level with May Campbell. Only Millie Davids, who has been scoring already this afternoon, up ahead of her. But it's the all-round game, Rachel, that she's bringing to this format of rugby. No wing has made more dominant tackles than Chrissy Scurfield. She's managed 14 jackal turnovers. She's growing into something really special.
Yeah, and she's learnt really quickly, hasn't she, in this league. Obviously, with Loughborough Lightning in early stages, not doing as well as they had hoped for. But yeah, she's growing and learning in every single game, which, you know, we know what's coming in August this year, and she's starting to cook really nicely for that.
Fingers in your ears if you don't want a spoiler from elsewhere in the PWR. All right, I think we're safe to go. Trail Finders have beaten Bristol Bears 39 points to 38. It is going to take something heroic for Dave Ward's side, runner-ups last year, to find themselves at the marquee end of the season.
Scrum advantage over.
But we'll talk about that, Rachel Burford, in just a moment, because Lightning have turnover ball. Meg Davey has picked out Claire Gallagher. And we pull the handle on the slot machine again. This has been entertaining stuff. With it now is Fran McGee. She's beaten Scarrett. Just Rowland on her inside. Oh no, she does her and heads out. There's the footwork. Meg Jones in support. And for the first time today, Mattioli Woods Welford Road really roars in earnest. Brodie with an incisive line. Ralph finding at speed Nikki Simpson. Turning defence into attack in the blink of an eye. This score would prove such a shot in the arm for this fixture, with bragging rights on the line. McBrien goes back the way that she came. Charlotte Frey with murder in her eyes. But the ball ricocheting from her clutches, and surely Loughborough can't go end to end from here. Oh, for a moment, Emily Henrich pictured herself dotting it down. What a passage of play.
Yeah, both sides of the pitch. Great work here from Meg Jones. We just talked about Emily Scarrett doing the exact same thing, staying square, pulling her winger away. Just needed the ball back in two hands and find Meg Jones on the inside there. Great work. It's great to see McGee opening up. Emily Scarrett there, can't get a hold of her. Too fast, too quick. And the fend as well. But Helena Roda, she's covered so well in the backfield on a number of occasions. Been the last-ditch tackler.
Well, Rachel, how about the news coming from West London? Trail Finders. I mean, they were within a couple of phases of beating Gloucester Hartbury just last weekend, but they've done it. They've taken a top four scalp.
Yeah, it's awesome to hear and to see. You know, we've seen them have really good moments of performances, really good first half, and then teams being able to overcome that in the second half. But last weekend, showing their class, what they are capable of doing against a very good Gloucester Hartbury side. And then to do it, you know, they are a quality team. They were trouble last season. They've improved again this season. And it's a bit of a shame that obviously we know what today's victory for Bristol would have meant for that top four. You know, when I was playing, I'd have been happy about the result, but we'd have loved to have seen that real race continue for that top four spot as well. But brilliant work to see and hear from that Ealing Trail Finders. They've finally got that victory over one of the top sides.
Huge for Barney Madison and co. There is something very special brewing down in Ealing. It was Trail Finders' bench which gave Gloucester Hartbury grey hairs last weekend at Kingsholm, and it's to the bench that Tom Hudson has looked, because entering the fray are KMA Sangapolis and Nele, wearing 20 for Tigers, and also Katie Child, Swedish centre.
Time back on.
Who is actually packing down in the scrum. They've been experimenting with the number 22. They've been experimenting with her at flanker, and it has gone, and I quote, extraordinarily well so far. Back she pedals from that scrum, because it's a free kick going the way of Loughborough. But Rachel, how would you have felt if your coach had said to you, because it came about off the back of Katie Child struggling to get a starting berth in the team this season with Evie Wills there, with Meg Jones. She said, Coach, what have I got to do to get some minutes? And he said, OK, well, how do you feel about being a flanker?
I had to play once, and that was against Maggie Alfonsi, which was not fun to do. But I think you know, Katie Charles, she's a brilliant defender, really abrasive, really direct. You know, you can take a lot of the traits that you would have as a 12 into that back row with, dare I say it, a little bit less thinking. You know, you just follow your backs around, you listen to what where you're being directed. You know, it'll be really exciting to see how she goes. It's obviously last weekend put in a massive shift. I think it was 21 tackles that she made for her side. So physicality-wise, she's absolutely got all the attributes there.
It was a 13-woman Exeter maul which broke Loughborough hearts at the death last week, and they are struggling to contain Tigers at that exact same set piece. It's Sangapola Sonele at the heart of this one. She's found herself cuddled by and burgled by Sadia Kabea. How she has done that, no one knows, but Daisy Hibbert-Jones leads the celebrations. One of the most destructive forces in world rugby has done it again.
Initially, it was brilliant work, wasn't it, from Leicester Tigers. Went to the back, hit Omakwale. Initially got the drive on, and then the world-class Sadia Kabea. Just see there, she's just got half a hand in there, but she doesn't give up the fight. And then all of a sudden, ball pops out. She has a little look over at the referee. Ball's on me, ref. It's not going anywhere. Really good response.
John Mitchell changing his Red Roses captain officially last week. Zoe Aldcroft wears the armband now, and one of the reasons given was Sadia Kabea. Sadia Kabea and Georgia Brock specifically pushing so hard for that open side jersey that Marley Packer's spot in the 15 is no longer a guarantee.
Stay at the tunnel.
Daisy Hibbert-Jones, who hopes that she'll wear a red rose again sometime soon, picks out Ala Kelter.
Hold that.
Rowland's in the pocket. She's given that a right lash. Meg Jones finding Fran McGee, feeding the speed. It's worked before. It was out and out gas last time. This time it's the Fen she hopes will get it done.
Ball's available.
Childs. Quick hands. On to Sangapola Sonele.
Use it!
Former US under-23s captain, and so destructive. Ball spilt through contact there, and Loughborough might have 5 tries. That might be the scoring on the score sheet, Rachel, but their defence has been magnificent at points.
Yeah, and it's all about the collision, isn't it? On that last breakdown there.
Okay, cool.
Sangapola Sonele. Just slow down, which just allows Loughborough Lightning to get their width, get their spacings nice, and then be able to press hard off that line. And all of a sudden, you've got purple shirts all in front of you. A split second taking your eye off the ball leads to an error like that. But they've been really, really good right from the start. We saw, obviously, Holcab putting in really dominant tackles, getting on the front, getting Leicester Tigers on the back foot, which then just allows the rest of your team on the next phase to do the exact same thing and the exact same thing.
Far side.
Courtney Holtkamp back in Loughborough to an environment she's described as absolutely elite.
Okay, we're just here.
Who, as I mentioned, Rachel, made her debut at Allianz Park back in 2018. Jess Breach scored 6 tries for the Red Roses on debut that day. Do you know who else was on the score sheet?
Time back on.
So going back a bit of time, I remember passing to Jess, I think, in those games.
It was you.
Oh, I'm not a try scorer, I'm more of an assister, so that's why it's probably blocked out of my mind.
Best passer in the game, I heard. Loughborough scrum, and they keep it in long enough to buy themselves the free hits. They're enjoying themselves now, Loughborough.
It's been pretty evenly matched, hasn't it, the scrum contest this afternoon? But that was a real statement, obviously a change in the front row for Leicester Tigers. Whether or not Loughborough just saw that as an opportunity to go after it.
And that, from Rowland, some nudge.
Okay, just here.
It just sticks really solid to start with, and then they just get the secondary scrum on. And you just see there, I think it's Bevenant that just pops up, can't take the pressure.
Maul. Stopped once. K2, rejoin. 8 straight change.
Hallie Telford leading the charge here. They've made 7,
Penalty
make that
advantage.
8 metres, Loughborough, and again, they play it cute. Make sure they've a penalty to work with, and that one headed towards Skirfield, who has bounced off the top of Gallagher, lands awkwardly, ball rolls dead.
I've never seen that before. A winger going for using the knee as a way to be able to get the ball in front of the defender. Hopefully Gallagher's all right.
Number 20.
Little shake of the head from the Maple.
On the 5.
Well, we saw this to devastating effects up the other end. Nathan Smith yet to make a single change. He's got a 6-2 bench to draw upon today, but he reckons there's still a bit of firepower in the legs of the forwards he picked to start this one. Here they go again, Malcolm, who's carried with fire and brimstone, and then Christine Belisle with the easiest score she will ever manage. So quick to think, sticking another 5 points on it.
And that's why it's so important. You've got systems, you know what your go-tos are in these areas, but you've got to keep your head up. You've got to keep scanning what's in front of you at all times. And Belisle does exactly that. Leicester Tigers trying to organise. All starts here from good carry from Rachel Malcolm. Her leg drive today has been excellent. All of a sudden there, you've got players saying, going on the blind side, go push on to the outside. And she just looks up and has a free walk in. I think it's there. Makwale, she's looking, then goes and folds round, but nobody feels that space there. And it's just a simple run in.
Rowland has been near faultless off the tee today. Another feather in her cap. And Christine Belisle, born in Ontario, but who elected to play for Scotland after moving to Glasgow a decade ago, on her first start of the season, bags herself a score. Fantastic work across 1 through 8 for this Loughborough Lightning pack. We'll hear from their coach, Charlie Beckett, very shortly. He's back from running water, but we'll allow him a couple of minutes to get his breath back. And then we'll talk all things Lightning forwards. As we mentioned, the bench of Nathan Smith today, he has reached onto it, and here they come. Numbers 21 through 23. So Lily Ives Campion, Kendall Wardby, Leah Brebner Holden and Carmela Morale are all onto the field. That 6-2 split, nothing subtle about it. Why? I asked him in the week. Well, he said, I want to batter them up front and then keep battering them. Brebner Holden, who enjoyed her first start in the PWR last week against Chiefs. A new Scotland cap, someone on a pretty meteoric trajectory. And Claire Gallagher is being run ragged in the backfield. She'll be very pleased when Rowland gets back on the Loughborough coach in all of an hour's time. But she's cleared her lines efficiently there. And I believe it is time to head down pitch side and get the thoughts from inside the African Violet camp. Charlie Beckett has got his breath back and he's talking to Ashley.
He has indeed, Claire. You have just about caught your breath, haven't you? You're doubling up as the water boy today. You just ran out there. What were your conversations after that score?
I'm not sure I have caught my breath. My fitness is way gone to the first play. No, we're just talking about having control of the game and territory. I think we've had some real good outcomes. We've been playing in their half. They're good in goal zone, to be fair to them. I think they've been in our goal zone 2 or 3 times and scored twice. So it's, can we keep them in their half? Can we control the game? And if it gets chaotic, that's when they come into it. So looking for control, looking for possession, looking for territory.
You say that, but you visited the 22 twice in the second half and you scored off both visits.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we want to play down here. Like, we've got real good outcomes at the moment. of when we're down here. So how much time can we spend down here? How much control can we take? How much territory can we keep hold of in this half of the pitch?
Now, I know you love getting in with it, with the scrums, the line-outs, all those set pieces. That's your bread and butter, isn't it? So what do you want to see from the team here?
I think just sticking to our process. We have a very set plan of what we want to do at scrum, line-out and maul. And when we've stayed with it and when the pitches that we'd expect have been there, we've had real good outcomes. So it's just, especially we've had a few changes now as well. Lily coming on, Kendall coming on in that pack. Can we stick with, I think we've had a fairly dominant, a dominant set piece so far today. As we make changes, can we keep that dominance? And hopefully we can.
Great to speak to you, Charlie, as always.
Cheers, Ash. Thanks very much.
Early engagement. Front row all early.
Fresh faces, fresh legs, and a little bit of over-eagerness there.
Just here, 9.
Amy Ralph, the Tiger with the most stripes of this lot in her 52nd appearance for the side in green. Gets them back underway through Charlotte Frey, who is just a guided missile once she gets those legs pumping. In at first receiver is Wills, and Sangapolo Sanele has just flattened a trio of Loughborough athletes. They are slowly reinflating and getting to their feet, but the damage has been done. And back they scramble defensively. Big shot from Mattioli Tonga. And Fran McGee is stripped on that occasion.
Okay, on the 10, guys.
Well, it's what you want, isn't it, from your bench? You want to bring energy, you want to bring dynamism. And here, straight off the pitch,
on the line.
Big leg drive through, cuts back against the grain, not going square directly at defenders, hitting weak shoulders. And Sangapolo Sanele, wow, what an impact. Brilliant carry. I have to see more of her on the ball.
Time is on.
Her compatriot, Tess Fury, is with us now, wearing number 23. A paediatric nurse when she's not scything through backfields. Despite the best efforts of a tentacled Omakwile, that's brought down safely by Hibbert Jones.
Okay, use it, 9.
Brebna Holden made to work really hard there to get that away. Holtkamp with another carry. She is tireless, the Canadian. And Mattioli Tonga wondered if she might have spied just a little half gap there. In an acting scrum half is Kelter. On the ball, Carmela Morale, and here's Chrissy Scurfield. Put a knock on there through traffic. And they're slowly, Leicester Tigers, making their way back towards their kill zone.
Time off.
Yeah, Morale there, just trying to look for the offload. But good defence coming across. Lovely little show and go. Meg Jones just gets up in front, but really good tackle there from Wills. Manages to wrap one of the arms.
No stress.
It was just because it changes.
Yeah, as you say, just inching forward into that 22.
Okay. Guys, sub 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay. I'll talk louder.
For one round and one round only before we pause for the Six Nations, the Gallagher Premiership is back, and it's taking us from Gloucester down to Sandy Park before tomorrow we're all the way up in Sale and then down in the West Country once more as Bristol host Newcastle. And then last but not least, 5:15. In case you've missed a moment or you are just obsessed with rugby, we've got it all in the Rugby Review with Craig and Co on TNT Sports 1. If football is more your thing, then Fulham and Man U are going toe-to-toe over on TNT Sports 1 tomorrow at 6 p.m. That feels like the perfect dessert after a spot of Rugby Review, if you ask me. And last but not least, Chiefs host Quins in what could be a preview of a semi-final or even a PWR final. We'll be on air at 12:30, kick-off at 1:45.
Okay, stay in the contest. Mark is there.
Loughborough Lightning have changed their entire front row. So, Ellis Martin in at hooker, flanked by Amelia Williams, who's been training with the England under-20s this last week, and Laura Keats, who's at the other end of her rugby career. But mark my words, the World Cup winner is still pulling up trees and concertinaing opponent front rows. And just look at them get to work. utterly monstrous. Fanged and snarling and everything in between. What an impact from those replacements.
Yeah, how good to come on cold into a scrum and then make a statement like that as a three, as a unit. Brilliant work. As you said, you've got Amelia Williams there, you know, young, fresh, and then on the other side of that, you've got Laura Keats. And look at how destructive that was. Super impressive. Fresh legs, just as you said, about bringing on another set of fresh forward legs to be able to then continue to try and batter Leicester Tigers.
They're off to Bristol next week, this lot, which is the most lethal scrum in the competition. So that will be a sight for sore eyes in the case of Nathan Smith. Skirfield's latest adventure ends with an offload to Fran Goldthorpe, and she's swiftly back to her feet. Scrum half delivery onto Rowland and then Abby Duguid, who is on wearing 19. Brebner Holden with a little tricksy step out and then in a little bit more. 15 metres from what would be a 7th score for Loughborough. Matai Tonga, the right winger. Rowland picks out Duguid. That fresh front row, swiftly clearing rucks, and then Brebner Holden again. Goldthorpe looking to just fix the defender.
Stop there. We'll restart with a pink scrum.
And a grunt of discomfort there from Fran Goldthorpe. Fran Goldthorpe, who we've only ever seen at fullback in the 15s format of the game, Rachel. She's got 8 caps as a rugby league athlete. She's played under 20s in Union, but John Mitchell named her as a centre in that January Red Roses squad. Could you see her doing a job in the midfield?
Yeah, well, I think she's a really strong defender, really physical, really direct. And I think, you know, he could potentially be looking at what's a backup to Tatiana Hurd. Where's our depth in that position? We've obviously seen a number of players play in that position, but maybe he's having an eye on her thinking, you know what, she can be really direct for us. She links up really well with some of our players already. Emily Scarrett, obviously club teammate. So it could be an opportunity for her to have a go at 12 and see what she can do there.
I'll tell you the combo that we've hardly seen. And when I say hardly seen, we've not managed it once under John Mitchell, and that is Meg Jones with Emily Scarrett. What do you make of that? Opponents today, but might they link up in a Roses jersey?
Yeah, I think I'd love to see them link up together. You know, we've talked about their skill sets. They've got really good distribution, offloading skills. You know, they are contrasting in terms of, like, Meg's more abrasive, a bit more dynamic, but Emily Scarrett has the passing and the distribution, the choice of pass to be able to put players away. So I think the link up with the pair of them would be really interesting. But it all comes down to what does John Mitchell want from his centres.
Stay at the tunnel.
Well, a question that we'll have answered very soon, because the Six Nations kicks off in March. Job to be done first here, though. 15 minutes left to play. Morale.
Okay, cool, thank you.
Again with a little bit of a dummy. Just indecision in the minds of the opposition. Matai Tonga beats Meg Jones, who's clutching a wrist there and is slow to her feet. Eventually, Evie Wills manages the tackle. Brebner Holden. It's now Ellis Martin.
You've got one here, or for the back line up early. You've got one here for the scrum, or back line up early. Okay. Back line up early.
We know that the maul works, Rachel.
Scrum called.
So if you were Loughborough Lightning here with bears on the horizon, is that why they've called the scrum? Are you trying something else?
Just stay in that
I'm not sure if it's trying something else, but you reflect back on that last scrum, what they were able to do. So why not back that opportunity here? You know, like you said, we've seen what they can do off the driving line-out. Maybe their options are a little bit different now in the line-out with the changes in the personnel. So many coaches talk about it. If it's not broken, don't try and fix it. And they came on and had a big statement, not on their own ball. So what can they produce here? It's
backline against backline, and what backlines they are. Lightning leading this second half. A second half in which Tigers have been held scoreless and the gap has swelled to 28 points. There's another penalty advantage coming at the scrum and the referee's patience wears thin.
Okay. Front row, not straight. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Laura Keats straight away, as soon as she heard the whistle, scrum again, we're going again, we're really trying to squeeze them now. Force the referee to maybe make a different decision here. I think it's good to see from Lightning. They want to be ruthless and they really want to push teams all the way to the end. We've seen them perform in patches and parts of the games and in and out of it, but squeezing it right near the end, regardless of what that scoreline says. You know, it's easy to probably take the foot off the gas when you're 30 points up, but here it's good to see that mentality from them.
Kept in again, dainty footwork from Hibbert Jones, and Brebner Holden seizes it and darts over. It's her first score for her new club. What an impact she is having. Leah Brebner Holden, remember the name.
Well, it's great to see, isn't it? Coming on, making an impact. That's what you want from your bench. We've talked about it in the pack, but giving you that platform first here, and then all of a sudden, worrying about the scrum, little step on the inside. Fran McGee's got to be more aggressive. They've got to get off the line.
Just checking. Thank you.
But really good spot. We talked about that heads-up rugby. Sees half a gap, sniffs it out, and manages to finish.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, mate.
And still kicking beautifully, even with no pressure on that kick. The result is home and hose, but Helen Rowland pops another 2 into a score for Loughborough Lightning, which is headed towards their highest tally of the season. Talk about Brebner Holden, talk about Carmela Morale coming on, Kendall Wardby, Lily Ives-Campion, who's still only 21 years old, Amelia Williams. It is a very young set of replacements. They are as proud of their pathway as they are of the Galacticos that they have recruited.
Penalty advantage.
Building something to last is Nathan Smith. He is very clear about that. And the future of Loughborough looks to be in pretty safe hands. Flat as you like from Rowland. Morale picks out Daisy Hibbert-Jones, who's played more than 1,000 minutes this campaign, more than anyone else in the PWR.
Still under penalty advantage.
Utterly relentless, the youngster who came through the ranks at Sale. That ball almost sits up for Rowland, but then bounces off the knees of Brodie. Back with the side in African Violet. Kendall Wardby finds Rachel Malcolm, who is still just full of running and intent. Childs looking to make a mess of it at the breakdown, but it's on to Ives-Campion. Pump of the legs, so eager to make her mark, having sat out last week with a knock, but the ball just bouncing from Matai Tonga's clutches. It's broken up a little bit, this one, as the finish line roars into view, and the East Midlands derby looks to be headed just back up the road to Loughborough Town.
Guys, time isn't off. Who's down? Sorry, I didn't see her.
So Bears next, Rachel for Loughborough Lightning, and then Trailfinders at
Guys,
home,
9 and 1 sub,
which
please.
might well be a straight shootout
you'll be going
for
off.
6th place.
And number 9 sub.
Be easy enough to find the motivation for that one, and also 97 points the last time those two sides faced one another. So surely, if you're anywhere near the Midlands, got to get yourself down there for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
we know that this group is full of lots of pride and they want to ensure that they finish the best possible position.
Okay, guys,
but you've got 2 teams coming into it that will be full of momentum, full of confidence, and want to finish their season in the best position they can. So it'll be an absolute belter of a game to get along to.
A strange old moment for Jenny Maxwell, who is on for Leicester Tigers, wearing 21 after 7 years playing for Loughborough Lightning. Same could be said of Leah Bartlett, who's just leaving the field. The loose head, Loughborough to her core, the Scottish international, came through the college, the university.
Time back on.
And there is Maxwell.
And again, Lightning! Lovely! Crouch! Sing! Bind!
With you.
Set! Okay, stability.
You've got to take the hit, girls.
Are we happy with that gap? Okay. If you need more space, create more space. Don't step off. You guys, don't step forward, okay?
It was just a surprise. We'll just chase it after the ball's over. Looking shot though, Keith. Which one's marked, sorry, sir?
That there.
Get low, bigger split, let's go. Bigger split. Let's go. Let's fucking go. Seconds! In! Let's go.
Crouch! Sink! Bind! Set!
Try scorer, Brevna Holden turns scrum feeder, and it's to the short side they will go. Morale back and on to Roland. Skirfield has it now, fires up the afterburners. Big shot coming in from Tess Fury. Stops the Canadian international. Hit hard there in the tackle, and wonder if there might have been a little bit of whiplash on that one.
Yeah, there's a lovely little set piece play. Full tilt, big tackle there. I think it doesn't look like it's too high enough to be a high tackle. Looks like it goes on the shoulder. I think if anything, Fury looks like she might have got a head knock on the shoulder. It's a brave contest, wasn't it? Full flight from Skirfield, putting your body on the line.
No.
And Tess Fury,
You can have rugby incidents.
one of those US Eagles with eyes on that World Cup, a campaign which they will, of course, open up against the Red Roses, the curtain raiser at Sunderland's Stadium of Light. And Fury, one of the individuals that Tom Hudson named as being particularly impressive in their response to that 100-0 afternoon at Saracens a fortnight ago. He said he couldn't have had a better response from the likes of her, of Emily Henrich, of a couple of other individuals that were involved that day.
No. We've watched and it's been reviewed
really
in the background.
desperately difficult afternoon, he said, but with a squad of 36, with 6 injuries to factor into account, with internationals, with niggles, with Red Roses limitations to take into account,
Time off.
he had to make the changes.
TMO review.
And we'll pause briefly here. TMO is just going to take a look at that one.
Okay, we're at the screen, Craig.
Our TMO today, Craig Maxwell Keys.
One looking back down the field.
Okay, thanks, Craig. Okay, so we do have head-on-head contact. Tackle it is upright, so we do have foul play.
She could be in some trouble here. It's whether you deem that most of the force is initially through the chest, or is it direct head-to-head? If it's direct, and that's how the TMO sees it, then it'll be a red card. But if there's mitigation, we'll see a yellow card here.
Okay, have you got a number for me, please? Are we all happy?
23.
23, okay. Number 23, green.
So it is Tess Fury who will be watching the rest of this match as a spectator and a spectator only. Tigers still hunting their first points in the second period, shorn of a player, and they will be for the rest of this one.
Okay. Time back on. High tackle, 23, green.
Chrissy Skirfield still with us.
Same here, yeah.
Yeah, you wonder whether or not she should have gone for a HIA just to make sure, but you did see that the doctor talking to her, so must be happy that she's okay to continue.
Okay, just on the edge.
Nathan Smith speaking in the week about how intrinsic she is proving to their plans, how determined they are at Loughborough to keep her in African Violet next year. She's the sort of individual you could build a team around. And it's the first throw of the afternoon for Alice Martin. And it's turned over. The result's gone. That is beyond the reach of Leicester Tigers, but they would love to finish with something positive, although they're going backwards at a rate of knots here, such as the ferocity of Loughborough's defence. Kelter told to relinquish that particular attempt. 7 minutes to play. Tigers down to 14 out there.
Okay, stop there now, Pink. Just take a step.
Maxwell finding Meg Jones in at first receiver on this occasion. She's got Frey for company and Katie Childs. On to Russell. Oh, intercept, Carmela Morale! And the 20-year-old student sensation is over. Lightning have another. They are looking to win this one, gone to tape.
See here, Meg Jones just trying to create something, getting really good go forward. And Leicester Tigers, you know, they think they've got them on the back foot, so shifting the ball, trying to find that bit of space, but there's got to be some communication there from Brodie on the outside, recognising that Loughborough Lightning are up fast. They're in between the passing channel. But it's a really good read and pick from Morel, and good finish in the end there. And another 2 points from Helena Ronan.
One of the stars of a box Super Rugby programme for Loughborough, which are doing astonishing things in University Top Flight Rugby at the moment. They put 60 points on Cardiff earlier on this week. Morale at the heart of that side, along with the likes of Leah Green, Haneala Lutui. And speaking of scorelines, this is officially Lightning's highest tally of the season so far, and will be a record East Midlands derby win. They shared the spoils last season, a pair of wins on the road. This year, Loughborough 21-17 in round 7, and in this round 15, they will take the spoils once more. It has been an imperious performance. With Bears on the horizon, and then a battle royale back at Franklin's Gardens in round 18 up against the Trailfinders side, who have just claimed the biggest name in their history.
Same maul.
That maul is still motoring. And now Matai Tonga disdainfully bumping off Maxwell before eventually she is clung to by Brodie. Brebna Holden. Morale looking full of confidence now, the youngster. That was the carry. Someone full of belief. Ives Campion. Difficult to stop, even harder to bring down, so they opt to drop it to the boot of Roland. Floodlights on now, but it remains a beautiful, bright day in Leicester.
No.
4 minutes to play. The gap is wide, as it has been all fixture, indeed, all head-to-head.
Penalty advantage.
But now Leicester with a penalty advantage to wield like a sabre.
That turnover's good. 16 Pink, playing 9. 16.
Natasha Jones, on the occasion of her 50th, will send this down the throat of Fran Goldthorpe rather than into the stands of Mattioli Woods Welford Road, and Goldthorpe will chase her own with only a number 8 to beat. The touchline might just beat her. She keeps it in field quite brilliantly, but McGee in the meantime has made up the deficit and claws the ball back for Tom Hudson's side. Omakwale fancies the carry. And it's Rachel Malcolm who's combined with Lily Ives Campion. Maul brought down. Referee having a really good look at that one before gifting it back to the side in ascendancy. And now, Rachel, feels as good a time as any for you to talk us through the athletes you've been considering for your Clinique Game Face Player of the Match.
Yeah, I think there's been a number of standout performances. I think, again, just to mention for Leicester Tigers, Charlotte Frey, again, just a standout performance. Really, really big effort from her. Seen it time again, early on the scoreboard as well. Another big shift from her. And then again, in Loughborough Lightning, a number of good players that have been working so hard for their team. And I think looking at up front, Holtkamp really asserted herself defensively, really got the team moving and going forward.
Okay. Looks like she's coming.
And then Helena Ronan, she's been brilliant at drawing the strings this afternoon, finished a brilliant trying on her own. Great off the tee, playing in the right area has been superb. But for me, my Clinique Game Face Player of the Match goes to Rachel Malcolm. I think her work rate, her effort, the amount of carries and work she's got through has been excellent. She always galvanises this team when she's on the field. And as we've spoken about earlier on, she's come back in better, finer form. So she is our Clinique Game Face Player of the Match, Rachel Malcolm.
She hopes to be back here on April the 19th, leading Scotland out against England. The Scottish outfit, who are currently enjoying their highest ever world ranking.
Okay, let's play on.
She has been talismanic in that, and there she is, still exhausting her troops.
Time back on.
2 minutes left. They've got a player advantage, and recently Leicester's scrum on toast. Let's see what Lightning can do with the final thrusts of this one.
I talked about that attitude, didn't I? The kick, the chase, the smothering of the tackle, the turnover to create another opportunity for themselves.
Nathan Smith isn't one for smiles, but you wonder if he might just be pleased with this one, because they've got the penalty advantage and another try. And it's Daisy Hibbert-Jones who rises with the plaudits. An inexhaustible figure. It's her co-captain who gets player of the match, and it's Daisy Hibbert-Jones who might well have just got the final score in this one.
Just look at their body language, all running back to the centre halfway to get some calls from their coaches. But look at the power. This is what you want from your bench, to come on, to step it up, to keep it at that level. And that's not an easy. She just falls onto the ball, but that's not easy. It's juggling, it's bouncing. And to land on and score.
Yeah, it's fine. It's all good.
Super impressive from Loughborough Lightning. Again, all those interchanges, and you've not seen that standard drop.
They are the tightest group that Nathan Smith reckons he's ever worked with. And that has been a statement performance off the tee for Helena Rowland. It also means that Lightning are winning this second half 35 points to nil. The first half was impressive. The second has been a rout. And Rachel Malcolm still has the energy for a little pogo with delight. Seconds remain. That on a dime from Tash Jones. It allows Maxwell to regather. Omakwale finding Brody, who's still running. Driven backwards there is new signing Clodagh Dunn from Old Belvedere in Leinster, the Irish tight head. Maxwell finds Jones, who has been quiet, it's got to be said, been stifled by a purple defensive wall. Hibbert Jones gathers the loose ball. Helena Rowland dinks it into the stands of enemy territory. And the undisputed queens of the East Midlands are officially Loughborough Lightning.